Hi, welcome to another dolallycrafts. It's been a little while since I've been here. It's been, I think, about 2 months. I actually went for an ice skate across the kitchen floor on a frozen hamburger, and when I landed, not only did I put my back out, but I totally knocked my knee out of place as well. So it's taken me a little while to be able to get back into things. So yeah, I'm finally back. I've got a few cards put together that I'm going to film over the next couple of days. So if you'll bear with me, hopefully over the next week or two, things will start getting back on track. It couldn't be helped, and if you could see my back garden right now, you'd know that I am not kidding when I said that I was totally incapacitated for a while there. Okay, this is the card we're making today. As you can see, well, maybe you can't, but there's a few little marks on there because with this card I'm actually using the basic black archival ink. It takes a little while to dry, so the first thing I'm going to do is actually stamp these little fellas so that we can move on with the rest of the card. So I'll get these stamped and set aside to dry. So I don't know whether I've used this on any of my videos. This is my Tim Holtz stamp platform. I was one of those impatient people that didn't wait for Stampin' Up to bring out their own stamp platform. So I have my Tim Holtz one here. Now I'm going to bring in my little fellas here. As you can see, they are well loved with the archival ink. I just can't get it off. Now I also have a couple of masks here somewhere. Where's my other little fella? I've got the one with the balloon. If you could see my desk right now, you'd understand why I'm at 6s and 7s. Bear with me, I will be back. Hey, I'm back. I quickly cut out another mask, so I have both of my masks here. I just need the two bottom bears to be able to do this. So I'm going to come in with a little bit of memento. I know you probably can't see this, but I'm just going to do it off screen and then pop this on so that I get an impression of where the bear is going to sit. I've inked with memento onto my sheet craft, onto my piece of acetate from my Stampin' Majig. I've just got it fastened to the side here with a bit of washi tape, and it's just so that I can get the positioning right. So I'm going to bring in my piece of Whisper White and pop it where I need the bear to sit, which is just about there. So what I'm going to do now, I know this is off screen, but I'm just inking up the panda on the top plate, and then we'll bring it over, move that out the way. Oh, I know what I forgot to do, and I forgot this last time and ended up stuffing everything up. So I'll just pop that there, and then bring the panda over, give it a press down. Right, I don't know whether you can see, but it hasn't stamped as clearly as I'd like it. So I'm just going to give it another inking up over here, bring it back over, give it another press down. Beautiful. Okay, so now I've got to bring in the mask that I created and just pop the mask over the top like so. And just give it a press down and make sure that balloon's in the right spot. I'll give this panda a clean in a moment. Pop it over there. Bring the next panda in. And I'm just going to pop him where I think he's going to need to sit, which is right there. So I'm going to need to move that there. Okay. So he's in position, so I will bring in the plate, pick him up, move that back over, and give this fella a hit, And I'm going to need to move my little panda underneath up just a little bit. Just a little bit more. We'll see how that one sits. Yep, that's fine. So now we know we've got him in the right place. I will clean off, and I'm just using a dry wet one or dry nappy wipe with some of the cleaning fluid for our stamps, just to give that a clean off and get the memento off, only because I'm going to be colouring some of these in with our Stampin markers, and I want to make sure that I don't have any bleeding. There we go. Now when I take this mask off, you will see that it's not stamped perfectly, but I went and purchased one of these Statler Tri Plus fine liners, and what I'm going to do is just colour in with the fine liner where his legs would have been. So we actually lose a bit of that panda's ear, but that's okay, we still know it's there. Oh, and also we just colour in this top bit here where we know this fella's arm will be. So I'm going to bring that round like so, and just give it a bit of a colouring in. You can pick these up at your Office Works, or you can use the Copic multi-liners. They work well as well. Now, as you can see, I've actually moved that, but that's okay, because we're going to need to clean this off so that we can place our third panda. So give this a good clean. And this piece a good clean, because as you can see, the memento isn't quite dry. So we'll just give that a bit of a clean off as well. And now, if we keep that in place and bring in, what did I do with my other one? There we go. Bring this fella in, and we just cover him. And what did I do with the other one? There we go. Bring this fella in and just cover the balloon up like so. Whoops. These are really strong magnets, as you can see, so I'll move that down a bit, pop that one there, so we know that they're in place. And then we're going to bring in the final panda, which is our little fella with his party hat on. So I'll bring that over and bring that down, so we know he's going to go about there, but we will test that in a tick. In with the memento again, and just give it a light covering to make sure that we've got him in the right place. And we'll just move these two little fellas up just a smidge. That's it. So now we know we've got him perfectly placed. We can clean him off of the memento and come in with our basic black archival. Give him a press down. He's actually come out quite well. There we go. So that's our three pandas. have now been stamped. So move my masks out the way, and I can keep them for next time. I've still smudged this a little bit, but it's not too noticeable. So we're going to pop him away over there to dry. I'll clean all of these off after. So I'll pop those away. Oops. If you haven't invested in a Tim Holtz or the other pink one, I'd suggest you hold off until our new catalogue and invest in the Stampin' Up! One. It's not quite as big as this, but you actually have two stamp plates, one that comes over from one side and the other comes from the top. So they are worthwhile. So I'll just pop him aside and we will bring in the base of our card to set this up. Okay, I have the party balloons on one side, so I'm just going to cover the base of my card. All the dimensions and measurements can be found on my blog. There's a link in the description box below. Just make sure I've got this up the right way. Okay. So that's that part done. And then this is what our pandas are going to sit on. But we can place this first, and that goes off to the side. I just want to make sure that looks a bit wide. I might actually trim these down by 1/4 of an inch. And my pandas themselves by 1/4. I've got to be careful here because this ink is still a little bit shiny. So that's one side, and I might flip it round and just take a little bit more off this side. Let's see. Yes. So just take another bit off that side. So make that a bit narrower. So we will adjust the dimensions on before I put them up on my blog. So I'll take 1/4 off that side. Just make sure that and that was all I needed to take off for that one. So I'll pop that aside. Okay, get rid of the scraps, and we will pop this on. And I'm going to put this off to one side, like so, and then bring in my two pieces. That was Bermuda Bay, because that's the colour that's in the pack, and this is Peekaboo Peach. So I'm just going to pop some double-sided tape runner down the centre of these two pieces. Flip them around and do it again. There we go. And then we will just sit this at either side, like so. There we go. And then our centre panel of our pandas, which still isn't dry, will go down the centre there. But before we do that, we're going to stamp our Make-A-Wish and It's Your Day. These are out of, got to find the stamp set is the Happy Birthday Gorgeous stamp set. So I'm going to bring in, what have I done with it? It's sitting here. If it was any closer, it would bite me. So in with the memento, and I'm just going to do it up the side there. That's one, and then Make-A-Wish up here. There we go, and then another It's Your Day This is just a piece of scrap. Oh, hang on. Ooh, doesn't want to move. Just bring in a piece of scrap because I really should have stamped this before I mounted it. So that's that one. So it looks continuous up the side, and the same with the Make-A-Wish on this end. There we go. So it looks like it's a continuous message up the side of the card. Now, I'm just going to flick the fan on that I've got to the side here and give this a quick blow with my desk fan. Okay, now I just need to fill in just a little bit of this fella's leg here over the top of this panda's ear, and that's that bit done. Now I'm going to bring in my colours. So this is the Peekaboo Peach, and I'm going to bring in my blender pen, give this a bit of a squeeze to put some more ink in the top of the palette, like so. Bring in the blender pen. I'd like to thank you all for sticking with me over the last few weeks. I know it's a pain not having any videos coming out, so thank you for hanging around and having faith that I might actually return. Okay, so that's the Peekaboo Peach finished with, so I'll move that aside, get rid of the colour off the end of the blender pen. And while I'm doing that, there's my Bermuda Bay. As I said, my desk is a mess because I have so many projects on the go at the moment. So now we'll come in with the Bermuda Bay and just lightly decorate around his hat, like so. If you don't have the Stampin' Right markers, it is an idea to get the blender pens, because as long as you have the inks, you always have a Stampin' Right marker on hand if you have a blender pen. So if you don't have these, grab a pack. There's a pack of 3. I can't remember how much they are. Don't think they're any more than $20 Australian. So if you don't have any markers at all, but you've got ink pads, grab yourself some of these. Okay, the next part is we're going to open this up, and once again I'm going to stamp inside with Make-A-Wish and It's Your Day, just as out carrying the message over. It's got a bit of dirt on it, or a bit of fluff. I have cats. Those of you with cats will probably understand. Cat hair goes everywhere. Okay, so we put Make-A-Wish just there, and then we will follow that up with It's Your Day, just there. It's not straight, but it will suffice. Okay, so that's the inside of the card done, and we're just going to finish. Oh, I did forget part of my colouring in, and that, whoops, is a little bit of the lemon lime twist will come in here, just to cover the envelope. There we go, and one little bit more of the Peekaboo Peach. Just to colour the heart and the tail of the balloon. So there we go, that's all the colouring in done. Bit of double-sided tape runner on the back, and we'll pop that down the centre like so, and just give that a rub over just in case any of that ink is still wet. And there we go. So that was my sample card. Whoops, very smudged, and the inside, and this is the card that we've made today, and the inside. So I hope you have enjoyed this card and you'll give it a go yourself. All of the details can be found on my blog, so just follow the link in the description box below.